Well, Suzanne.
Hi.
Hi. Now, you are Suzanne Ross, the founder of the Raven Foundation and the author of a new book called The Wicked Truth About Love, The Tangles of Desire.
Yes.
So you really are exploring one of the great mysteries of humanity.
Yes.
And I wanted to start off our interview with asking you, why did you write this book?
Well, I think it's because I was intrigued by writing about something that is so mysterious and that appears to be very confusing to people nowadays. It seems to me that the modern search for love is really caught up in some misguided ideas, and that people are falling into these sort of patterns that they repeat over and over again. And it's never getting them what they want or what they say they want, which is true love, you know? And I thought it would be fun to try and write about that in a fun, lighthearted way, because, you know, that could be a bit of a downer to feel that you're caught in some destructive pattern that you can't get out of. But, you know, the truth is it's just a pattern, and patterns can be changed. And so I thought, you know, let's just not get too depressed and bogged down about it, and write in a fun way. And we've got some songs in there that are real lighthearted and illustrations that are funny. So, yeah, it's hopeful. It's a hopeful book, I think.
Okay. And what are the current obstacles you see? I mean, we're kind of in a difficult time right now, which probably is throwing up some new obstacles, but what are the obstacles that you observed in your book?
Yeah, that's interesting because I was just reading about one of them in the paper today, actually, caused by the current economic crisis. I was reading about a group of women, 20-somethings, 30-somethings, who have gotten together and kind of formed a support group because they were all dating men in the banking industry. And now these men have lost a good portion of their wealth, their jobs. They're no longer able to take the girls out on fancy dates. They're canceling credit cards. They are, and the girls have broken up with them because of this. And the reasons they're giving is, you know, one of them said something like, you know, I didn't sign on to take care of somebody. That's not what I was in this for. And in my book, I identify a pattern that I call the rock star pattern. And the rock star pattern is someone who falls into that pattern confuses their need for their image to be enhanced and for their lifestyle to be extravagant and big with love. You know, there's nothing wrong, really, I don't think, with wanting to go out to dinner and having fancy clothes and a boyfriend who's rich. But if you think that's love, then you're going to keep being disappointed because you're looking for something in the relationship that it's not going to give you. Mm. So that's just one. That's one of the patterns. There's 5 others.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you use that you know, love's been examined through a lot of different, let's say, lenses. Mm-hmm. And I know that the lens that you're using is called mimetic theory.
Right.
So could you tell us a little bit about what mimetic theory says about love?
Yes, a little bit. One of the key principles of mimetic theory is something that kind of flies in the face of conventional wisdom. And in this book, I call it our talent for becoming. And I compare it to the way we think about ourselves in the culture, and I call it this billiard ball myth, that we are self-contained, autonomous beings who sort of sprung into being with this personality and identity and a whole package of desires that belong to us and no one else, and that we're not really influenced by other people. But the truth is, what mimetic theory points to is that rather than being billiard balls, we're very malleable. and we're very open to influence. And that's what I call our talent for becoming. I mean, we're born into this world unformed, without personality, without desires, except to be fed and to be loved. And we form identities through our interactions with our parents, our family, our culture. And this talent for becoming is with us our whole lives. It doesn't stop once, we reach age 7 or whatever. So we're constantly being influenced by one another. And one of the things that we are influenced about is our desires. And we learn what is desirable from one another. And so, for example, in that rock star example I gave you before, these girls didn't suddenly decide that, oh, a banker, that's who's the perfect, lovable love object for me. They absorbed that from the culture that told them it's like marrying Prince Charming, but it's a mistake. It's an idea they absorbed from outside themselves unquestioningly. And so what I invite people to do is be very aware of their talent for becoming. Be aware that they're getting ideas from outside themselves, and then use their brains to analyze those ideas that are coming at them, and to really ask, is this the way to love? Is this the way to happiness? And if it isn't, then it's within your power to change and follow another model or another idea about what is real love and what a Prince Charming really might look like in your life,
Mm-hmm. Well, we only have a short time left, but given what you were just saying, I'd like to ask, what is love?
I talk about that in the book, and I give a name to the type who's really on to what true love is, the name of custodian. And I do that very deliberately to dissuade people of the idea that love has anything to do with a glamour or with ego enhancements or anything that is self-centered. The custodian is the person who understands that love is a decision that they're making, that it involves work and sacrifice, and but that they're the kind of person who takes pleasure out of that work. And I also talk about love as not just being work, but as being gift, of being a gift of yourself to the person you're partnering with. And the gift has no strings attached. It's not about keeping score about who gave more today and whose turn it is to give tomorrow. Because what you're really giving to is the relationship that you're building together. So what this does is put you on the same team. You're not competing with each other to see who's the most loving person today. You're cooperating together to build and sustain your relationship. It's bigger than the two of you. You're actually engaged in a creative act together. And so love is gift, and love is the willingness to give up your own ego needs for the sake of that relationship.
Great. Quite lovely. Quite lovely. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for a chance to talk about it.